Thank you for staying with us. It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on the front page of Nigerian newspapers, and I begin with the Nation newspaper. The major story here says, "No price too much to pay for peace in Rivers," says Fubara. PDP clerk rejects peace terms. No price too much to pay for peace in Rivers State, says Fubara. That's the governor of Rivers State speaking there. And then we move to other stories on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Shuaibu admits frosty relationship with Obaseki. That's the deputy governor of Edo State speaking about his relationship with his superior, Godwin Obaseki. Now, EFCC to beam searchlight on councils, no dividend at grassroots. That's what he's saying. Makinde versus Peace as Shaun gets staff of office. That happened recently. Federal lawmakers to pass budget December 30th as Islam's VCs. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Nation newspaper. To the Nigerian Tribune now, the major story here towing the line of the Nation newspaper talking about Governor Sim Fubara saying that there is no price too high to pay for peace on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Governor Sim Fubara is saying no price too high to pay for peace. Falano, Clark say Abuja resolution unconstitutional. No way back for 25 defected lawmakers, the PDP is saying. And to other stories now, no provision for census in 2024 budget, the Senate is saying. Give Tinubu real feedback from Nigerians, Fayemi tell Ganduje. All right, Ribadu Lords and Bafo fight against insecurity in Enugu. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. To the Leadership newspaper now, and the major story here says, Rivers truce, Fubara bows, ready to make more concessions. Says no price too much to pay for peace in Rivers. Clark declares peace pact one-sided. PDP insists Wike is still party member, not above sanctions. All right, another story here. Ogoniland gives condition for oil production. And the Supreme Court hears Kanu governorship appeal tomorrow. No provision for census next year, the Senate is saying. And I didn't order dress code for Niger workers, Governor Umar Bagu is saying. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Leadership newspaper. To the Nigerian News Direct now. Wike others working for opposition not above sanction, PDP is saying. And some Wulu commissions, Ikeja red line fly over. That's the picture you see splashed on the front page of the newspaper. And if you look at the picture in word here, you see the governor flanked by the governor of Kwara State, who is the chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum, and some other dignitaries present there at the commissioning of the red line flyover. Another story here, 200 houses earmarked for demolition to make way for presidential fleet. I believe that story might interest you. And Naira strengthens against dollar to 844 Naira to a dollar at official market rate. Some of the stories you find on the front page of the Nigerian News Direct. To the First News newspaper now. The major story here, Rivers crisis, PDP rejects Aso Rock resolution, insists defector lawmakers have lost seats, demands fresh poll to replace them, vows to sanction Wike others, says FCT minister not above party. And still talking with Rivers crisis, Fubara breaks silence on Tinubu's brokered peace, says no price is too much for peace to reign. And Naira scarcity, Nigerians tired of excuses, fix problem now. NLC tells federal government, and I hear that they say they are planning a strike as a result of this matter of the Naira scarcity. Now, Kaduna bombing probe report will be out soon. Defense chief is saying Simon Lalong officially resigns as Tinubu's minister. There's tension between Obaseki and I, Shuaibu is saying. Says my office has been starved of funds for 6 months. And Lagos to roll out 50 electric buses, 100 CNG vehicles. That's what is been reported here. Rivers Crisis Clerk accuses Tinubu of favoring Wike. This is stemming from the agreement reached when the president tried to broker peace between Governor Sim Fubara and the Minister of the FCT, Yesum Wike. Well, these are some of the stories you find on the front page of the First News newspaper. Ibraheem.
Well, the first with me is Blueprint. Fubara, Wike, 25 lawmakers, others. PDP threatens Tinubu's peace accord, insists on fresh polls, mulls sanctions against FCT minister, others over anti-party. I'm ready to pay any price for peace, Rivers Governor. We stand by President's peace deal, APC. Federal government to disburse 75 billion naira loans to small businesses in January. You see that on page 22. Couple traffics, 1-month-old baby purchased for 30,000 naira. Community radio, federal government partner UNESCO, counter-terrorists in rural areas, Malagi. And then 2024 will fully unveil gains of federal government's reforms. That's President Tinubu, Lord's Enugu government, Governor Mba on security, economy. Urban renewal, infrastructure, top Bago's 613.2 billion naira 2024 budget. Cash scarcity bites harder in Lagos, Ogun, major cities. You see that on page 22. Next is the Daily Trust. Rivers crisis, Tinubu's intervention, breach of constitution. Senior advocate of Nigeria, says political solution can't override law. President's action insults to Rivers people. Clark will sacrifice for peace. Fubara. PDP rejects truce, insists on fresh polls. Protest in Port Harcourt over truce. Moving on. Reps probe MDAs over funds to tackle out of school children menace. Reps probe MDAs over funds to tackle out of school children menace. After shake-up, lobby for aviation agencies headships begins. After shake-up, lobby for aviation agencies headships begins. Ill health, 14 years after Akeredolu's call for Yaradua's resignation, haunts him. Traditional ruler, pregnant wife, 15 others abducted in Taraba. Peace and harmony has returned to the FCC. And on the bottom strip, naira scarcity, NLC warns federal government, says CBN inciting Nigerians. This Nigeria is next. NPC excludes census funds in 2024 budget proposal. National Assembly, error not accepted, will appropriate resources for exercise. Petroleum Ministry's allocation of 5 billion naira inadequate to address Tinubu's gas policy, says Senator Jarigbe. Gunmen kidnap high-ranking chief, 20 residents in Taraba. Niger governor drops his excellency title, adopts farmer governor. Interesting, that's on page 5. And Sanwo-Olu opens Ikeja red line flyover to traffic. Sanwo-Olu opens Ikeja red line flyover to traffic. The bottom strip, we have report on Kaduna military bombing will be made public. That's according to the Chief of Defense Staff. Next is Business Day. That's the penultimate paper with me. Elomelu's firms trounced other large caps in stock returns. Big story, Netherlands overtakes India as Nigeria's biggest oil buyer. How Tingo slipped through regulatory gaps to defraud investors. Rivers crisis, PDP rejects Tinubu's intervention, insists defectors' seats vacant. Last but not least is the Nature newspaper. Environment Minister boosts water initiatives to enhance healthcare in Ogoniland. That's on page 3. The Massa DG applauds UN over planned extension of Nigeria's territorial borders. Non-reusable covers as panacea for plastic reuse. That's according to Yusuf. More food hubs coming to Aja, Agege, Abule Ado. That's according to Sanwo-Olu. Kamik NGO champions conservation efforts to safeguard Earth's biodiversity. And women farmers advocate inclusive budget for post-harvest losses in Nigeria. NEMA, UNDP collaborate on disaster risk reduction strategies. And then ace golfer Tiger Woods to compete more in 2024. That's about it for the newspapers for review this morning.
Well, the story dominating the front pages of the paper has to do with the rivers crisis. The statement coming from the governor after that 8-point agreement.
8-point resolution.
Yes, that was signed. We'll be looking at that extensively after the break, but I just want to touch on this matter of naira scarcity. Nigerians are still complaining. I saw it on the papers. It's here with me in the papers this morning. I know we touched on that yesterday, but you still hear Nigerians complaining about the fact that they go across the counter, want to collect certain amount of monies. The banks tell them that this is the limit you can get. But then the CBN is insisting they have enough in circulation. It's quite worrisome saying that Christmas is just some days away, and yet people are struggling to get cash.
I feel the news didn't get to those people in the rural areas, especially that the CBN had already secured a court order to extend the usage of the old naira notes to be using simultaneously with the old one. Maybe if your thunder doesn't, it should not strike in the same place. Twice. Yeah, so I felt that's what people felt, that, oh, what happened, last year shouldn't repeat itself this year.
That's trust in the government.
But I did not really experience it, so to speak. I used the ATM, 2 days ago. Still more than maybe after using it today. And I'm not able to.
I tried using the ATM, I think 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't.
I was able to use it, and I withdraw some amount of money, and I didn't have.
That's, I guess, your area.
I listened to the radio. Some people said it is not like that in their own area. Others are saying it's like that, and some also are making fast money. The POS operators, charging about 100% of, I don't know. So I feel some people are just trying to sabotage the effort of the government, apart from the fact that some don't have the news that, well, the naira, the recolored naira note is to be used,
alongside the old notes.
The old notes.
Yeah.
So I feel the government should just do much more in, sensitizing the people. Those who are holding naira, should bring it out for others to be able to use, because it has to be liquid.
Well, those who are holding naira, and when you talk about the amount, because we had that conversation yesterday that there are some Nigerians who do not have as much to hold so much such that some other persons cannot access cash.
And
so
those who are keeping their
it might be some Nigerians who are the elite who have that kind of amount to hoard or hold back. Because if you go to parties, you still see them spraying new notes.
Naira notes. So where did they get that from?
We'll leave the conversation here now.